In a small, forgotten village nestled between rolling hills and misty forests, life was a constant struggle. The villagers toiled endlessly, yet their efforts were barely enough to keep hunger at bay. Among them lived a young girl named Amina and her younger brother, Saif. Their parents had passed away years ago, leaving them to fend for themselves. The siblings shared a small, dilapidated house, where the cold wind often seeped through the cracks in the walls, chilling them to the bone. Every morning, Amina would wake before dawn to fetch water from the distant well, her thin arms aching from the weight of the heavy bucket. Saif, only 6, would cling to her skirts, shivering in the cold, yet smiling up at her with eyes full of trust. Despite their hardships, Amina never complained. She carried the burden of responsibility with quiet dignity, masking the grief that gnawed at her heart. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills and painted the sky in shades of crimson, Amina returned home to find their meager meal gone. Their only source of food, a small sack of grain, had been taken by a wandering thief. Saif looked up at her with wide, innocent eyes, not understanding why there would be nothing for dinner tonight. Amina forced a smile, hiding her despair, and promised him they would find a way. Days turned into weeks, and the village was gripped by a cruel drought. Crops failed, livestock perished, and the river that once sustained them dried up. Hunger became a constant companion, and the villagers grew desperate. Some fled in search of work, while others succumbed to illness and exhaustion. Amina and Saif remained, clinging to each other in the cold nights, praying that somehow, someone would help them. One bitterly cold night, as the wind howled through the trees, Saif fell ill. His tiny body shook with fever, and his weak cough echoed through the silent house. Amina sat by his side, holding his frail hand and whispering words of comfort that felt whole.